I have learned how to actually share the screen over the StreamYard as well.
Good evening, everyone. I am Neha Yadav, Ambassador of Change from GETI, that is Global Education and Training Institute, conceptualized and founded by Dr. Sunita Gandhi with the vision of disrupting education as we know it right now. Additionally, at GETI, we also provide in-service and pre-service training for teachers so that they can actually spearhead the disruptive education movement. To also echo the disruptive education movement, we also organize deep talks where we invite policymakers, bureaucrats, educators, researchers to talk and discuss various best practices and contemplate various thoughts in the education scenario in India and globally. And today, this evening, it is my immense pleasure. I am thrilled and excited to host Ms. Sangeeta Kabra, who is the founder and chief life coach at Perfect You. She's also an author, she's also an entrepreneur, I'm so sorry. She's also an emotional intelligence researcher and instructor, as I was talking about. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. Thank you so much. We faced little technical difficulties in coming up to here, but all's well. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you over here. And it's a pleasure to discuss emotional intelligence, a topic that's very close to my heart personally. Before we begin, would you mind explaining our audience and various teachers, educators, and parents, children also who are watching it, a very stark difference or distinction between emotional intelligence, that is EI, and intelligence quotient, that is IQ? I think that would set a good background for your talk today. In
Yeah.
just a few words.
Yeah, first of all, I would say thank you, Neha. Thanks to Geti for inviting me here on this platform to talk about the emotional intelligence, and thanks for this glorious introduction. That I'm a yes, as you all know, that I'm a certified life coach and leadership coach and holistic life coach as well. Because I feel that being holistically balanced is very very important for our overall development. And as you asked that the difference between IQ and EQ, the first I would like to I mean want to clear a very mild kind of difference between EI and EQ. That is, EI is a ability, is our skill to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions. Yes, and the EQ, that is emotional quotient, is a measure that actually how we respond to others. And the second, as you asked, that IQ and the difference between IQ and EQ. IQ is the meaning is IQ is intelligence quotient, how intelligent you are. It's just how you use your brain to overcome a problem or an issue, or in your challenging situations, or in especially in your exams. But when we talk about EI, emotional intelligence, it's just I said that how you actually respond to others and to yourself when you are in a crazy situation, or in a tough situation, or even in you are in a extremely happy situation, or you are confronting with different kind of people. So there is a kind of
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think emotional intelligence is very important for students right now. I think Daniel Goleman refers to emotional intelligence as the other side of the report card for students,
Yes,
because we all get good marks, and that is measured
yes,
every quarter, every week. Sorry, every month, every 6 months. But
yeah,
the emotional quotient of a child, how adaptable he is, how resilient he is, that somehow misses it. We somehow miss that out.
yeah.
So yes, that's a very good introduction, ma'am. Thank you so much. The stage is all yours now. I will
Thank you.
just add a presentation to the screen. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we are going to present our emotional intelligence presentation by Perfectu. It's my initiative to help people, to children and to senior citizens and all age group for their mental, emotional, physical, and social wellness. So, as I would say that what we will learn today. I mean, what will be the plan for today? The first thing that I would say that what is emotional intelligence. Then I would say, as I just said, that how we recognize, how we regulate, how we acknowledge our emotions, that and the same vice versa, the others as well, or the emotions of others as well is the meaning of emotional intelligence. So, and emotional intelligence is really very important. Many times we feel that how we respond and to the challenging periods and challenging situations, and how positively we come out from that. So I would say that emotional intelligence is the opposite of it's not opposite of intelligence. It's not triumph over of the head over the heart. It's just the intersection of both. So this is the meaning of emotional intelligence, that how we recognize, just I said, that ability to recognize, to manage and regulate our emotions. So emotional intelligence definitely is very very important tool in today's life, whenever we are going to school or to workplace, because how we respond to our emotions and the emotions of others productively and positively, that is very very important. And the second, as I just said, that why emotional intelligence matters. Emotional intelligence is a set of practical knowledge and skills that, as I have written, that help us to become fluent. It helps to become actually very, very balanced in to understanding the language of emotions, how we our body language, our non-verbal communication, and the feelings and the emotions in specific period times, or as I can say that the COVID period is going on, and we are under lots of problems like anxiety, stress, depression. So this is like how we can actually acknowledge, or we can be aware of our um, um, emotions, and can use them productively or positively to come out from that. And the as I just written here, the value and benefits of emotional intelligence are vast in terms of personal and professional success. Definitely, as I just said, that when we are talking about the relationships and or the success in our professional lives, the emotional intelligence always plays a plays a very important, a very specific role when we are going to achieve any kind of goal in our life. And it is a core competency in many vocations, can support the advancement towards our academic and professional success. It can help to improve our all kind of relationships. It can helps it can help us to make decisions in it can help us to increase our personal well-being. Okay. Sorry, actually. So these all, why emotional intelligence matters, we can see here. And now we will talk about the components of emotional intelligence, because what is how can actually we use these key components, these skills to uh, identify, to recognize our emotional intelligence, that emotional balance in our body or in our brain or everywhere, whenever we are going out, so in our responses and in our reactions as well. So first I would say that self awareness and self regulations of emotions. So when we will talk about the self awareness, we would say that how we recognize our or acknowledge our emotions, as well as how we react to situations and people. And when we talk about the regulation of our emotions, so having healthy self regulations allows us to choose how we respond when faced with strong emotions. And the second is, it is beneficial to express emotions, but it matters how you express them. And self regulations is concerned with how you control and manage yourself and your emotions, inner sources, and abilities. It also includes your ability to manage our impulses. So the thing is, when we talk about the components, the first and the most important thing is how we make ourselves aware about our emotions, how we behave in specific situations and with uh, particular people. And the second is how we regulate our emotions at that time. The second is motivation. Again, when we talk about a emotional intelligent person, we always see that these kind of people who are emotionally intelligent are tend to be very highly, I would say that they don't care about their materialistic things. They are always beyond that. They are more resilient, they are cooler, calm, and they are always thinking so balanced, in a very balanced manner whenever situations are not in their favor. So and the last but not the least, not last but one of the most important components, there is empathy. Because empathy is one of the most important component whenever we talk about the emotional intelligence. Because many times it happens that we are very aware about our own emotions, but we are not taking care of our families or our loved ones, and we don't care what they feel about themselves, or how we can make them balanced or happy when they are in the tough situations. So at that time empathy comes in our life, or I would say that we should make entrance for the empathy, to understand what is empathy. And empathy is the ability to understand how others are feeling. And it is very very crucial for a crucial tool, a very important tool to emotional intelligence. And it's not I think that the people who show compassion to others and have empathy to others simply better at connecting with other people. They can understand their feelings, they can help them in their uh, bad situation and bad times. And the very important tool again, that social skills. Many times we feel that the social being social is not that important in today's life, as we all are busy with our technology gadgets and all. So being able to interact well with others is another important aspect of emotional intelligence. And having this strong social skills allows us to build meaningful relationships with other people, whether we talk about the personal level or on professional level. And they can develop a very stronger understanding of themselves and others. And these are the components very important to understand whenever we are talking about the emotional intelligence. Because without these components we can't define um, emotional intelligence. I won't think that it would be completed or fulfilled. So the last but not the least, how we can improve the emotional intelligence. The thing is, pay attention to yourself. The thing is that how you talk to others, pay attention to your body language, pay attention to your words. And whenever you are interacting to someone. And the second, pay attention to others language and others body language as well, so you can regulate your emotions at per the situation, and you can use your emotional intelligence as per your practice. So the first thing, acknowledge and pay attention to yourself and to others as well. And the second, I would say that use positive language. Use positive language is not only language, that verbal language, it's that body language as well. Many times we are not paying attention when somebody is talking to us, and they are kind of very harsh situation is there, and we can't uh, stop ourselves to get the emotions like anger and sadness, anxiety and all. And our language, whether we are talking about the verbal or the body language, can be very negative. So I mean, when you actually want to develop or you want to improve your emotional intelligence, the second thing is need to understand that how we use our language. And keep going. Nobody, everybody knows that nothing is permanent here in this world. So whether the situation are in your favor or not in your favor, always keep going, kind of don't stuck in a situation or in a matter, I mean, which is not in your favor, or you are not able to achieve your goal because of that. So keep going. And the fourth, the very important the tip is the I would say the way is watch your stress level again. Because whenever we are in crazy situations and we are not feeling good, the negative emotions are so natural to experience. Like just I said that the anger and anxiety, panic attacks, and lots of others emotions. So it's so crucial to watch our stress level at the at different I would say that different times, different periods. So you can journal that, you can write those incidents, and you can make a list and you can work on that. And showing compassion again is very important. Whether the situation is, always be kind to yourself and be kind to all. So I would say that these are few tips where we can work on to improve our emotional intelligence. and I mean, this is the small contribution for from my side. Thank you.
Well, that was a very beautiful presentation, Sangeeta ma'am. It was a very beautiful gist about emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Um, don't you think that when it comes to education, there's some kind of a generational gap in emotional intelligence of teachers and of students? I mean, all of us grow up in different environments. So I'm expecting if there are two different generations sitting in a classroom, then there's going to be a generational gap between them. So how do you plan or propose that we address this generational gap so that teachers who come from a different background and different with different aspects and just different, mindsets, how do they teach students who are so young, tech savvy, and very snappy, snap a finger, they're feeling something, snap a finger, they're feeling some other thing. So how do you address this generational gap in emotional intelligence? Some
The
pointers
first,
from you.
yeah, yeah, good question. Thank you, Neha. The first thing, as you just said, there is a gap. So first we have to learn their ways of learning. Because as I just said, that in these 15 years we have changed drastically. We
Yes.
all actually using the technology and the gadgets, and we have given the children who are under 20, they even can't understand the world without gadgets. So the first thing, we need to understand their kind of learning, the way they want to learn life. That could be I think that must be very creative. Like this is, I think before 50 years the thing was very creative, just because we were giving our children a very practical knowledge. It was not that like the traditional kind of that they are reading about bit kind of specific history questions and science questions and maths, and they have the very very particular formulas to solve their problems. The first thing we have to learn, and we can create that kind of environment when we are getting connected to them on that emotional level, and where we can use this emotional intelligence, because they are getting very frustrated whenever we are saying that don't use gadgets and study in our ways. So that is not this is no for them. So the first thing, be creative. The second thing, we have to learn that tech savvy, as you just said, that we also have to learn their way of their styles and their way of learning, and uh, I mean the upgrading ourselves as well. And I think we have to create connections with them on each and every level.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, at one point in your presentation, you talked about the importance of language for emotional intelligence because emotions, conveying emotions, has a language. So, what kind of language would you suggest that students use amongst themselves, peer to peer, that each student can use with each other to display, a sense of emotional intelligence, or the sense that a student A is recognizing the emotions of students B or student B? I mean, if two students are there, what kind of language can students use amongst themselves so that they achieve a higher sense of emotional intelligence?
I have seen nowadays, especially the teenagers are using a different kind of language.
Disruptive.
It's They have introduced, I mean, themselves with a very different kind of slangs, and definitely we have to pay attention to our children, that what kind of language they are using to interact with each other. And the second, I think they also should understand that whatever they are actually talking to each other is going to be their future the reality. Because it's not, I'm not talking about the law of attraction or anything else, but the way you are talking today, it would be your language of tomorrow. So
It gets
definitely,
hardwired. It gets
yes,
hardwired into your brain.
definitely. It's just like you are doing something, you are doing hard work for getting good marks. But so you will get, definitely you will be in toppers list. But if you are not paying attention to your studies, you are not, it's just like I'm a bank bencher. So it's just like language as well. It's I think it's parents and teachers' responsibility to ask them again, to asking good questions to them, that the way, just because I think they are hiding lots of things to from their parents and teachers, and it's been 2 years they are not active with their teachers, they are not in connections with their school. So I think that the first thing, we have to create that kind of environment again, I would say, where we can connect with them on each and every level, where they can share their feelings, their frustrations, their mental issues and emotional issues with their parents and with their teachers as well.
I think that's very right when you say, when you mentioned the 2 years now, the pandemic, the past 2 years. I think the past
Yes.
2 years have solidified the fact that emotions are a part of our life. We
Yeah.
cannot run away from them. We cannot
Yeah.
abandon them. We have to
Yeah.
embrace them. We have to
Yeah.
learn to live with them, and we have to embrace our or draw our lives around them in an intelligent fashion, which is
Yeah.
why emotional intelligence comes into place to manage our emotions.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Is
Yeah.
anything else you would like to add to this discussion today for
Uh,
teachers, parents, educators?
first, again, I think you have noticed the one word I have said again and again, that is make connections, create connection with everyone. Because whenever we are talking about the empathy and compassion, the most needed skills, or I would say the thing we all actually expecting from each other. Because somewhere we all are feeling lonely, just because of the social distancing and not going out, or the uncertainty, the fear of this pandemic and the virus. So I would say that the best thing, that talk to everyone, talk to at least talk to your family members, your loved ones, your teachers, your students on, get some time like 15 minutes to ask about their emotional issues. So I mean, I think after 2 or 3 sessions they will be open to you and they can share their problems, issues. As just you said that in this pandemic time we have to embrace our emotions and our feelings to feel that kind of the oneness, which somewhere actually we lost, or I would say that we missing at this time of period.
Absolutely. That brings to my mind that you mentioned the importance of connection, which I think is very important. And it's, I think, a breeding ground for empathy and emotional intelligence. But as teachers, there are times when we are not able to connect with students, when a child doesn't want to connect with us. So what would be your thoughts on, for example, if if someone is not connecting with me, naturally, then we use something called cognitive empathy, where we just, try to empathize with them, even if we're not feeling what they're trying to feel. So, what would be your take on, say, cognitive empathy or cognitive emotional intelligence when someone doesn't want to connect, but we want to connect for their greater good? Because connection has to happen. I could either connect with the child naturally, or I could get the child to connect with me using a certain steps, cognitive steps, basically.
Yeah, sure. Actually, when you are talking about the cognitive emotional intelligence, it's again that just actually I started with that, that it's not a triumph, of head over the heart, sorry,
Hmm.
heart over the head,
Okay.
but again, we have to use. I think we should talk to their parents if we are talking about the children, because I feel that the parents know everything whenever we are talking about a children, the kind of routine, their study style, their timings to talk, whenever they are talking to their friends, and so I think the parents can help to understand them well, and where we can actually talk to them about their, again I would say, because I'm a life coach, and I have worked with lots of children on that emotional level, and whenever after 2 or 3 sessions they are fully open to me that ma'am I have this problem, and somebody has bullied me, or my parents are pressurizing me for getting good marks, or if I'm not feeling, I'm not feeling good whenever they are asking me about
Marks.
certain things. So if I'm not wrong, I would say that, or if you want to connect with someone on cognitive level, you have to first have to connect with them on emotional level.
Okay. That's a very good point. That's a very good point that you've raised.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would like to add to this discussion now?
I would say that whenever we talk about that, our emotional and mental and physical development, because these three aspects are very very important even at this time, because,
Absolutely.
and when we talk about the children, so from my side I would say that pay attention to your holistic development, your holistic well-being. So even if you are feeling physically unfit or unwell, you can use your mental wellness or emotional wellness at that time, and you can go out, because you are not feeling emotionally and mentally unwell, even when you are not physically fit, or you are not that balanced at this time. And it's for everything, even if you are feeling mentally and emotionally. And again I would say, talk to someone, even if you have someone where you can share your problems, issues, and so go and talk to that person, whether it's your mother, father, teacher, friend. So I feel that at this time lots of children and lots of people are under they are feeling stressed, they are under depression, because the main thing is the imbalanced emotions.
Yes.
And
Yes.
again, because when we were not going out, now we are going out, and everything is again. But today I have seen the news that something is Omicron variant is also in the
Oh,
air. Don't know whether it's, but it's again spreading, fear. So
absolutely.
this is not good for children. If you are saying that don't go out because there something, or some kind of variant again is it's in the air, they are asking what would I mean. So I mean, we have to stay only at home, and we are not going out, or we are not meeting to friend. It's not good for their health. If we can see, so definitely we can support them, with the technology, to get connected with their friends and with their teachers. And yes, of course, schools are working amazingly to create that connections with their students. So I think this is also very important for creating this emotional intelligence in our students.
Absolutely, absolutely. That was a very wonderful conclusion for
Thank
all the questions that I had and for your wonderful presentation as well. I think
thank you so much.
everyone who is watching and will watch will agree that a child, through his developing stages, needs to be emotionally handled properly in a way that makes him emotionally intelligent to handle various challenges in life. Because as we established, emotions are going to stay with us for a very long time. They are a product of evolution. We cannot
Yeah.
just throw them out of the window for some reason or the
Yes.
other.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming today and allowing me the opportunity to host you on a topic that I find very interesting. I'm so sorry if I troubled you with a lot of questions. I just am
No,
very
no,
curious
no.
about.
It's actually, you have given me bit, a brainstorming session as well, because I'm a life coach, and many times when you are asking about something like that, cognitive emotional intelligence, is also giving me, bit to
Think about.
thinking, kind of, yeah, that definitely. So thank you so much. Mutual feelings, Neha, and thank you for inviting me here. It was a
Thank you
great
for
session. Yeah.
Thank you for connecting today. It was wonderful to have you, and hope to see you around. And let's stay connected. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank
evening.
you. Yeah, you too. Thanks. Have a great day.